Hi, welcome to the SJ Child Show. Thanks for joining me on this journey. It's not just about me and my show, it's about all of us. It's about us coming together as a community, serving one another's needs, supporting each other, and just creating a new change for the future. So join me. Come with me. Help me build this community. Help me build this new view of what the world should look like. Today, on the SJ Child Show, a story of a boy, a Romanian orphan who lost his mother at 3 months old. His amazing, inspiring story of how he was adopted, moved to Germany, is a non-verbal adult autistic male, and writes books. You guys, this is an incredible, inspiring story. You'll hear the pain, you'll hear the excitement, and most of all, you'll hear how no type of nonverbal communication can stop anyone from doing what they dream. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Thanks for joining us today. Introducing Autism Vehicle Home Safety Kits with emergency responder vehicle alert stickers, personal profiles with autism needs and a communication board, masks and earplugs, keeping families and emergency responders educated and safe. Get yours today at sjchilds.org. Helping autism families impact their child's developmental milestones through home relocation, community resources, and home designs. For every 3 homes Natalie Castro sells, she funds and designs a sensory room for a community center servicing individuals with autism. She volunteers to coach law enforcement, first responders, and ER nurses how to have a positive experience for individuals on the spectrum. Hi, welcome to the SJ Child Show. I'm your host, SJ Childs, and today I have a guest from all the way across the world. I joked with her that I'm speaking to somebody from the future because she's an evening time where we are morning time here, and that is Hanne Kloth, and she is coming here from Germany. We are going to have a very unique discussion today about a gentleman that she has been working with for a decade, 1 decade at least. And it's going to be heartbreaking at times, but the wonderful, inspiring thing about this story is that it's coming from the gentleman himself, who is a nonverbal autistic male. We'll learn more about that. Thank you so much for being here today.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's so great to meet with you. And we talked and I got to hear some backstory about Florin, and I'm really excited to share with my viewers and listeners. Tell us a little bit about yourself first, and then we'll go into the story.
Yes, my name is Hanne Kloth, as you already said. I'm a behavioral scientist, and I am specialized in autism. And I'm married. I have 3 adult sons and 2 grandchildren of 18 months and 4 years.
Oh.
And I work with autistic youngsters with different forms of autism. And but most time I spent with Florin because he is a very extraordinary young man. And I always say I have never met such a fantastic person before in my life. And I work with him since September 2011.
Wow.
And we work, normally we work once a week in form of therapy. And Florin, in the other time, Florin works in a special institution for hard autistic persons, no Asperger autism or no speaking autism. There are only autistic youngsters who can't speak, and who have very, very big problems.
Definitely. And the fact that you guys, like I had said, are bringing, such wonderful information to the community for better understanding for those humans that need more support and more strategies to get through life a little bit easier. And it's so interesting. And, the way we met is because Florin authored a book. Is that correct? Or was he a co-author? How did that come about?
No, he can't speak, and he communicates in the daily life by signs.
Yes.
And when I met him as I said, in 2011, I offered him writing. I asked, "Do you know to write?" And he said, "Yes, and I would like to do it," he said. And I offered him the computer, and I'll never forget it. He was at a school for impaired people, mentally impaired people, and but he wasn't. He was intelligent.
Yeah.
And he told me, "Yes, I want to write with the computer, and I want to go to a regular high school, and I want to make my exam at a high school." And I said, "Yes, but at first you must show me that you can write and read." And he said, "That's not the problem. I know it." And he wrote. I looked and I said, "That's impossible," but it was wonderful. And then he said, "And I want to go to the high school," and he did it. And he went. It was 11, and in 2012 he started at a distance high school, and there was a distance high school because he isn't able to go to a normal school because of his behavior. And then in the year 14, he finished it very, very early, because he had such a success in all the subjects that the teacher said he can make the exam earlier than normal, and he made it with a award.
Wow.
Nobody had ever believed in that. And then he said to me, "I want to write a book.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, that's impossible. You can't write a book." I can't write a book. It's not so easy to write a book. And he said, "I want to write a book about my life." And I said, "Oh, yeah, I want to write a book about my life too, but I can't." "What do you think? How will you start?" And then he said me, "I imagine." And then he wrote the first sentences of the book. And I said, "No, that's, I looked and I said, that's incredible." And then he wrote the first book, a biography. And he wasn't the co-author. He was the author.
Yeah.
He was the
amazing.
author. And he wrote, his favorite thing he writes are poems.
Oh.
And he had he had made he was was heißt Teil? He was he took part at competitions for poets, and nobody of the jury they knew that he was an autistic. There were poets, all not only autistic poets, and he won awards in Austria and in Germany for his poems, and
amazing.
They are great. And he wrote. Now he has. In the meantime, he has written three books.
Oh, wow.
3 books, and 4 books, because the last book, that's a children's book about autism.
Yeah.
And that's very, very special because it's an autobiographical book, because it's a story of the little Marian, and Florin's full name is Florin Marian.
Okay.
The second name is Marian.
Oh.
And it's about himself. And he wants to explain children up to 10 years autism. And the interesting thing in the book is that it's in the framework of an exciting story of a little firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
And there are typical characteristics of Florin. He tells the kids too, the children, and there are tasks for the kids to do. And in the end of the book, the kids can compare their results with the results of Florin.
That's neat.
Florin explains why he has done it like this. And so the kids can understand the difference between the result of Florin and of themselves, to understand the other, because he couldn't do it like them, or because he had chosen other things. And they also understand some unusual hobbies of Florin or behavior. And that's very interesting. And this book is written in German and Romanian. It's bilingual, because Florin says, I want that the kids in my homeland will have the chance to read this book too. And therefore he said to the publisher, I want to read it, to have it in 2 languages.
Wow.
And he's graduate, and now he is there is the next book is a new edition of his biography, but supplemented up to 2020.
Yeah.
And with also, like the kids, an interactive chapter for the reader and Florin. There, I think he has 10 or 12 tests, but for adults, and they have to make it. And at the end of the book, Florin shows his results and explains the reader why he has done it like this. And this book will be published in June in Germany. And Florin's biggest wish is that perhaps it's possible that it may be translated into English, because he sees himself as a speaker for all the other kids of Romania who don't have the chance. He knows I had the chance, yes, because he knows that the doctor here in Germany has said, after his parents had come to him, that he had perhaps lived for 2 months. Then he had died.
Wow.
And therefore he says, I want that I am the speaker for the poor other kids who were with me in the orphanage.
Yeah.
And therefore it's a big wish for him to translate it for other countries too.
I love
Perhaps
that.
that will be a miracle.
Yeah, right? That would be incredible.
Yes.
Let's go back to Romania. Let's go back to the beginning, and let's talk about his story from there and how this all started.
Yes. Florin was born the 2nd of December, 1994 in Fitesti. That's a small village in, I think, in the more eastern part of Romania. I don't exactly know. And his father was a day laborer. His mother died 3 months after his birth. And he has 3 older siblings. Were the only informations his adoptive parents got when they decided to adopt him. Florin, in the in the meanwhile, we know that it's not sure who is Florin's biological father. Perhaps it's the husband of his mother, but she lived separated from this man for some months before she gave birth to Florin. Or perhaps it was the boyfriend of his mother, a poor shepherd, but very, very warm-hearted. And yesterday I told with Florin about this meeting today, about the interview with you in the United States. He was very, very proud.
Oh.
He was so proud.
You're honored. I'm so
I think
honored.
he was a bit taller, because he was so proud of it.
I love it.
And he told me, you have to tell about Ion. Ion was the boyfriend of his mother, and Florin. Now we know that Florin lived together with his mother and this boyfriend in the house. It was now we have seen it because Florin has made a research. He wanted to find his family, and we are rather successful. And he has seen the house now for the first time in his life, a photo, and this the most valuable photo for him, because he said the 3 months when I lived there with my mother and her boyfriend, I think these were the happiest years, the happiest months of my first years, because he knows that he was loved. Yeah. And the problem, he said, he saw this boyfriend of his mother for the first time last year in October, and it was very, very emotional video chat. We all cried. It's not only because Florin cried. He gave kisses to the computer, to the video, and his perhaps father. He cried too with happiness.
Oh, wow!
And it was so emotional. It was incredible. Yeah. And but Florin also told me yesterday, you have to say that now I suffer very much, because this boyfriend, who was for Florin his father, because he was so warm-hearted, he died just 3 weeks after this video chat. Oh. It was terrible. And till today, Florin isn't able to look photos of his perhaps father. Yeah. He can't. He doesn't want to see it. He doesn't want to see the photo of this man he loved so much. He has seen one time after his birth, last year, and now nothing. Wow. And this man, Florin lived with his mother, as I told you, with his mother and this boyfriend in the cottage. And exactly 3 months after the birth of Florin, the mother died. We don't know why. She was very young. Florin was the 4th child, and she died on her birthday. Oh, my goodness. And she was only 26 years old. Wow. She died with 26 years. Mm. And then the husband of her, he was the official father of Florin, and therefore he had the only authorization for decisions. And he decided to give Florin into an orphanage. Mm. And the boyfriend would have liked to keep him, but he wasn't allowed because he wasn't an official father, and he was very, very poor. And the official father, Florin, says today to me, he is very cold. Mm. He didn't want to have me in former times when I was born. And even today, we found him. Florin found his father his official father. And he said to the social workers who found him in Romania, he said, I don't want to see this boy. I refuse him. Yeah? And therefore, Florin says he is so cold-hearted. And he gave him to the orphanage.
Yeah.
And then Florin was in this orphanage he was 3 months when he came into the orphanage, and he stayed there nearly 4 years. And you must imagine it was just after the death of the dictator Ceausescu, and it was incredible, these orphanages. It was incredible.
Filled with impoverished, conditions, I'm sure, and the way that you explained some of the conditions the children had to live in, that now Florin is still recovering from.
Yes, he has a therapy, always therapy by a psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
He is specialized in autism and in traumatism. Mm. And Florin suffers very, very much from these consequences. He remembers some things of the first 4 years. And many things can be confirmed by his adoptive parents, because they saw it when they came there. And they told me the kids there were 30 children in one cold bedroom, and all the children, his mother told me, all the children were tied to the bed so that they couldn't move, and they had nearly no clothes and no covers, absolutely no covers, and they were only for breakfast. Florin told me, for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner, they didn't get anything else than liquid porridge. And the Florin says the guardians always, when he speaks about these people, and he said they poured it the liquid porridge filled in metal boxes into the mouth. Eat or don't eat. That was it. And if Florin says, if we cried, we didn't get anything. And then we were hungry. And that's because when he was adopted, he was nearly 4 years old. He weighed 10 kilograms. He was 80 centimeters tall. He couldn't stand on his own. He couldn't walk. He couldn't speak a word. And his parents told me when they saw him the first time, that was in July 1998, they went with him outside, and he cried and trembled for fear. And then they went inside, because it was terrible. And the guardian said, oh, that's not the problem. He has never been outside before. He had never been outside before. It was the first time the kid was outside. And then the mother said, you can't imagine, the bed were absolutely dirty. Mm. And Florin, in one of his books, when he wrote the book, it was interesting. I never forget. He wrote the book. He wrote something. Then he stopped. Suddenly he stopped. And he started to tremble. And it like this. And then I calmed him and said, calm. And then he wrote me, there were insects in the bed. And they tortured he wrote, the hungry and freezing bodies. In his book, he never writes children. He always writes, there were bodies.
Yeah.
Because he says there were nothing in them, because there were no one who kept the kids, or who, there were nothing. They right. were in a cold room, and it was frozen atmosphere and nothing else. And therefore he said this, we were not children, we were bodies. He's able
punishment for being alive. It sounds
yes,
like that's just devastating.
yes. And Florin, he was when the parents adopted him, he had to go to the toilet up to 20 times a day. And when they went with him to the doctor in Germany, the pediatric had said to them that he hasn't, perhaps 2 months, after 2 months, in the orphanage he would have died, because the whole body was poisoned by spoiled food.
Oh my gosh.
And they had to give him a special therapy food, a special medical food for nearly 2 years, because the body was completely poisoned.
Does he have a G tube or anything, or is he taking the food orally?
He takes the food orally, but only porridge.
Right.
Till today, he can't bite and can't swallow. He had many years of intensive therapy, and but even if you give him a piece of bread, he swallows. He can't swallow it. It seems if he can't breathe. It's torture. You can't do it.
It is.
He always eats nothing than porridge.
Wow. Oh, that's so interesting, and it's so incredible that he wants to share this story, and his vulnerability in sharing it is so inspiring. I am sure that the therapist, just like yourself and maybe the others, have just been in awe of some of the amazing things that Florin is able to accomplish.
Florin, please,
you're fine. I was just saying it sounds like has so much more than people thought, he could do.
Yes, he has so much more.
Yeah.
He always wanted to show to the people that he is intelligent, and he wants to show to people that his behavior is very strange, but that's only his behavior. That's not his real person. He says that's the autism and my post-traumatic stress reactions, which makes it the behavior, but that's not Florin. That's not my person. And he has many invitations in Germany for congresses. Yes, he was a speaker. Because he can't speak, he writes down, and it's very interesting. And in this year, he has become a bit more popular in Germany.
Wow.
There was last year. There was a short film about him as a poet and as author of books in German TV.
Oh wow, that's incredible for him.
Yes, that's very incredible for him. And then this summer there will be a crossover project in Hanover. That's more in north of the town. Perhaps you know it. It's a big town, northern part of Germany.
Okay.
And there is a chamber choir, and the chamber choir has planned a concert, a crossover concert, and with literature of Florin, with music, and with paintings, because he paints too.
Wow.
And only acrylic modern art. And for this chamber concert, a young German composer, David Reichelt's name, he has won last year. He has won the German award for the best film music.
Wow.
He makes film music for television and for all those things. And he has composed 4 poems of Florin for this concert. And
Wow.
that's special. That's very special. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, and it just goes to show that, he's a survivor, that he perseveres, that he wants to teach the world about what autism really is. And that is, it may change from person to person throughout their behaviors, but truly, the brain of an autistic individual is so unique, complex, and beautiful that it's wonderful that he'll share this with the world now.
Yeah. Yes, and Florin, yesterday, I want to tell you something, because he said to me yesterday, you have to tell it. And when we will hear the podcast, and then it won't be, I won't have tell it. I know him. Then he gets furious with me. And therefore, I have to tell it to you, because it was very important for him. And he said to me yesterday that with his writing, he wants to give people quietance in life.
Yeah.
And he wants to show them that it is important never to lose one's hope. And therefore, his first poem was Hope. And this poem symbolizes his important message to people. And he asked me to translate the poem and to tell it to you. And now I will. This is the poem the filmmaker had shown in the film in TV2.
Yeah.
And the resonance of the persons who looked at the TV was enormous.
Oh, wow.
Very, very, because of this of this poem too. Hope. It's the name of the poem is Hope. Hope. It's the trigger of all conceivable courage. It carries the tiny human being towards real life. Hope and courage, two difficult but great friends. Hope, it's stronger than despair and preventer of chaos of self-destructive thoughts. Hope and courage, life giver.
That's beautiful.
And that's his message. He wants to give to people. Yes, because he knows that it's very, very hard to have the courage to accept it and to have hope, because hope needs courage. And therefore he says you both, and it was a very, very big result to this.
Moved me.
and very, very many of his poems are. He has. I didn't translate it, but there is one poem of him about exactly that what we have in our world now. Yeah, the war, and he expresses it's his favorite poem, but I didn't translate it, and I have it in my text because these are very, 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 very difficult poems he writes.
Oh, that's so amazing. I'm so proud of him as a human being. I hope you'll tell him that I'm proud of him, and I can't wait to share his story with the United States and all of my listeners in whatever countries, they're listening in as well. So it's been such an honor and a pleasure to have you here today. And we just really thank Florin so much for sharing and allowing you to share this story with us today.
Yes. And he thanks you very much, because for him, it's like a miracle for him. Yeah. It's because he always, his dream is to show people that even if you can't do nearly anything alone, and he is always moving, he has nightmares. The night is day for him, because he can't feel asleep, and therefore for him it was a very, very a present that we got the invitation of you to make this here, because he is so proud of it.
Oh, and we are so proud too.
And his family he found in Romania is proud too.
Did he find any siblings? Was he able to?
Yes. He found the siblings. Yes, he found the siblings.
Wonderful.
Yes. And he wants to go there.
So happy. Good. I hope that he's able to someday. I mean, that's such a heartwarming story and such an inspiring story from the beginning till now. And I hope that he just keeps going and he keeps this passion just burning so strong. And so honored to be able to share his story. So thank you so much. And we'll is there a place for those who can speak German or read in German? Is there a place that they can go and find the books that are available?
The books in German.
Are they for sale?
Yes.
And
yes, but the first biography of him, he changed the publisher, and therefore there will be the new book in June.
Okay.
And then, but if you are interested, you can contact me, and then I can manage this with the publisher too. He can send books to you. That's not the problem, I know. And therefore, because I think it would be very, very interesting, and perhaps we'll find a translator for the book what will be published in June. It's because the parents of Florin, they are not multimillionaires, and and they have 4 of these kids, because they didn't get own kids, and they have 2 adoptive kids and 3 foster children.
Foster kids, wow. They're dedicating their lives to helping these beautiful children.
Yes, that's very, 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 very interesting family. And
that
they're very warm-hearted. Very warm-hearted.
Wonderful. It has been such a pleasure to speak with you today, Hanne. And thank you so much for putting this together in a time that was available for you. I greatly appreciate it. And I look forward to staying in touch with you and checking in to see how Florin is doing.
We would like to stay in touch with you.
I'd love it. And anytime he can video chat and wave hello, I would love to do that. If, I could maybe have my son help me with a little bit of German.
Yes. And perhaps we can organize a day when I stay with Florin, so that perhaps you can see him too.
I'd love that.
We have to organize it because of the difference of hour. Clock.
You just get up in the middle of the night.
Now.
Exactly.
And therefore we have to compare a bit. And then perhaps I think that it would be interesting for Florin too.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for all that you've done today to help me with this and to help Florin. And we will definitely be in touch. Thanks for being here today.
Yes.